Hey everybody, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. This will be my episode 62. We're going to be talking about Elio, a Disney Pixar movie. And I just want to start off by saying this was like a nice refresh or a nice way to present a movie. Um, I saw previews about this movie a couple years ago, honestly, and they just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So I think that's what might have hurt Elio in the box office. But I personally saw it at home on Disney Plus. Me and my family loved it. Um, it's about this boy who Disney tragically, always killing off somebody's parents, but tragically lost his parents in, I think, a car crash. So both his parents are gone, and he's actually living with his aunt who actually works on a military base. Um, Really good movie, honestly. The animation was a little weird. It kind of reminded me of that movie, The Strange World, that kind of no one knows about or talks about. But that's where the feels I got from it. Um, it was just about a boy who tries to fit in, feels like nobody wants him, feels like he doesn't belong anywhere, and he looks to outer space to find new people or new friends. Um, his aunt is very dedicated to her work, but he's such a rambunctious kid, always getting into trouble, cutting class, things like that. And at a young age, too, I think he's like 10 years old or something to that effect. But he does makes contact with some kids in the local area, I guess. I think kids who are kids who are parents are also at that military base, so they kind of all live there. And he calls them, asking them for a radio, so this way he can like kind of like transmit his voice or his thoughts out there to see if someone would come back. And somebody does come back, but they think he's the leader of Earth. Takes him, you know, shows that he pretends he's the leader of the Earth after they tell him that he's the leader of Earth. They're like, hey, if you are able to help us out with this situation, we'll get you there. And then this big guy here with the red helmet there, he's actually the bad guy or the protagonist in the movie, or the guy who they're trying to defeat. He wants to join the council and pretty much dominate the council, but they're like, yo, we don't fight wars, we don't do wars, stuff like that. So you're actually not a good fit. And it actually starts a war himself because now he's pissed, like, yo, what's going on here? But in all honesty, it was nice. He made best friends with the guy's son. Um, Elio actually goes there, meets all the different aliens from different parts of the galaxy. They treat him like he's one of their own already. Like one, they do believe he's the leader of Earth, so that might be part of it. But they do treat him like he's part of the team, so he feels the love, the camaraderie from them. Um, there is a part though that he ends up working with the guy's son, the main alien son, and almost as if he pretends he kidnaps him to help stop the war. Well, that actually pisses the dad off a little bit more. Um, he's like, a father always knows. A father knows when that's not their son, because he actually makes a clone of his son to kind of make it look like, no, that's his son. He'll do whatever you want to do. But the father knows, like, yo, my son didn't want to go to war. I know my son. So what did you do with him? But he actually sent his son to Earth, but his son can't get acclimated to the Earth's atmosphere, actually ends up dying because he's freezing on Earth. It's too cold for him there. So they actually end up flying the ship back, getting help from his aunt, because his aunt finally believes him, like, yo, there's other life on other planets, because there was a version of Elio that they also made a clone of him and sent him to Earth. And it was like the perfect child, did his chores, did what he was told, liked old school music, like, and the aunt started picking it up, like, this is not my Elio, like, what's going on? And she questions him one day, like, yo, she actually pulls hair off of him to do an experiment. And she noticed that the hair wasn't the same DNA. And the hair jumps off of the microscope and crawls back to Elio's or the clone's body and reattaches to his head. And she's looking at him like, what is going on? And then the fake or the clone Elio looks at her. Yeah, we got something to talk about. And that's how she finds out that her nephew is in outer space. In all, it was a pretty good movie. It showed Elio becoming friends with some of the kids that were bullying him from earlier on in the movie, and also making friends in space. So this kid went from being an orphan living with his aunt, even though, she's the guardian, he's an orphan living with his aunt. and he made friends in outer space, hundreds of people, and then made a really close friend. And also, again, one of the kids that was bullying him on Earth actually becomes his friend too. So it's just a coming of age movie. And the thing I got from this movie a lot, especially with society right now, it showed a Latino or Hispanic characters, main characters at that, showing the struggles that they're doing with they can't fit in. The aunt couldn't fit in because she has a nephew now, but she also has to present herself as a boss at work. But she keeps getting phone calls that her nephew's in trouble. Her nephew ran away. Her nephew's cutting class. Her nephew's blowing stuff up, stealing stuff, causing fights, getting into fights. So she also has to fit in at work because now her dynamic and life change. And then the nephew, Elio, also has to change because he feels like he's not wanted. He feels because of the way he looks, people don't want to hang with him. People don't want to deal with him because he doesn't have parents. He feels like he's the odd man out. A lot of people in society right now, because of what's going on in the world, can definitely feel how this kid and his aunt felt. They feel like they're not wanted. They feel like people look down upon them, and that's kind of like what I got from this movie. It was a great movie. It was nice to see a different eye, see a character from different eyes. One of the things that I noticed the most was Elio had an eye patch in a lot of the promotional stuff, so I thought the kid had vision issues, which my youngest son does have vision issues, and at some point in his life he did have to wear a patch to correct his vision. So that's what kind of drew me to this movie to actually want to see it. Yeah, he got injured because someone hit him in the eye, so he had to wear a patch to correct his vision because of the injury. But it was a little different. But I did see the patch, and that kind of made me want to watch the movie. I will tell you now that the previews don't give you justice of what this movie is. The movie looks amazing. Um, Great interaction. Again, Disney has something with killing off people's parents, though. Like that's like their forte. But again, nice to see that Elio made friends. Nice to see that Elio and his aunt got back together. Elio's not the leader of Earth, but they do look at him as a savior because he did save that whole court from having a war with that other monster family or the other alien race, I should say. But it was cool how they were able to make clones of people. It was cool how they were able to make communicators that they can understand everybody's language throughout the entire galaxy. So that was really cool to see. Um, but I do want to go into something. I can definitely see people were saying that Elio didn't do great in the box office. Well, the reason why I didn't do great, like I mentioned earlier in the video, this movie was shown or previewed almost like 2 years ago, and kind of fell off. They kept pushing the date back, and then finally put it out. People weren't expecting this movie. The previews again don't show a lot of what's going on in the film, so I think that might hurt of it a little bit as well. But in all, great film. Nice to see again Latino or Hispanic main characters, showing that we are out there. We are in the world. We are in the Americas. Like we are part of this country. Nice to see. Again, Aunt was in the military. The son was, or the nephew was traveling with her. So nice dynamic overall. Don't know if they're gonna make a preview because the way it ended, Elio was talking with his friends up in space, so it's possible they can reach out to him for help, or Elio grows up and then he himself goes into space looking for his friends that he hasn't seen in a long time. So either way, can't wait to see what's going on with Disney. Disney, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you for everything. You guys, thanks for watching. Have a great one.